I want to welcome you to our demo day recap. Inside this video, you are going to see some of the coolest things that are coming to the real estate technology space, and you're going to start to learn how SAM is replacing real estate CRMs for agents and teams across North America. We're going to be diving into a specific section, but stick through because this is one of many videos inside this series. And then at the very end, you're going to learn how you can claim an exclusive offer. Now, this was the offer we presented live to all of the real estate agents, but I'll let you in on a little secret. I'm going to give it to you. As long as you stick through all the way to the end, you're going to have access to this, and you're going to learn exactly how you can get into SAM once you've seen the power that it's going to bring to your business. AI is the hot topic word of 2026, and you are not going to want to miss a single thing that SAM has to offer. So without further ado, let's dive in.
Okay, so the next part of this is keeping track of your contacts. There are lots of different CRMs out there that all handle keeping track of people. That's what we need to be able to do. Keeping track of people and also your pipeline. So inside of SAM, whenever you come into your contacts list, you can see a full list of everybody that you want to do. You can set up smart lists so that if you want to quickly find everybody that has a milestone greater than 5 and still new, there's ways of pulling up your list very quickly with just some clicks of a button basically there, and shows your list. You can set up this list to view what you want it to view as well. So maybe I want to see a layout that's just for my birthdays and anniversaries, or maybe I just want to see the list that includes tags, phone numbers and emails and tags and stuff. So this allows me to very quickly be able to get different views of my content depending on what I'm wanting to do. If I'm just wanting to go down my list, and these are just bogus names and numbers here, but if I wanted to go down through here and start doing some calling or whatever of people, I can certainly do that. I can add them to my call list, which we'll go over in a little bit. Actually dial from here, do SMS messages from here. I can send emails from here. All the things that I would want to do very quickly to do stuff, and then see all their different tags and how they are. I can also go in there and quickly click on a tag and it filter by that tag to see things. So getting groups of names, doing things with groups of names is important. Once I've gone in there and maybe I've selected a bunch of names and I want to do something with them, I can go over here and say process the selected. I can send mass emails, send mass text messages, labels, all kinds of things. We do have integrations with both Letterfriend and handwritten, so that if you're wanting to be able to send out handwritten types of cards to your people during the closing process or after they sign or whatever, we've got integrations to be able to do that. You can start routines. We'll go over routines in a minute, but routines is your workflow processes. So you can start lots of those, or just add a bunch of people to your call list so that you're going to call them later at a certain time. So you've got all kinds of capabilities of doing things with your names in a list. But as you drill down, you click into one of these, it gives you the ability to see more detail on each one of those. You've got all your contact detail stuff, your classifications of those contacts, grouping them from A, B, C, D. A lot of coaches do categorization, and the A, B, C, Ds can mean whatever you intend them to mean. If A's your top clients, that maybe they've done multiple transactions with you, maybe they've given you multiple referrals, those are your A group. Your B group, maybe your people that's just done one transaction with you. The C maybe is the people you want to do business with, and the D's are those people that you've done business with in the past and you don't want to go through that turmoil again. You want to make sure that you refer those out or something. I don't know, but you can use those however you want. But all of these classifications give you certain capabilities to do things. As you identify who they are, what they are, you just make the changes. Now, The important part of this, more than anything, are these things. Number one, whenever you're putting in your contacts, you can specify how do they prefer communication. Do they prefer emails, phones, or SMS? If somebody prefers email and we're sending them a text message, we can automatically convert it. Vice versa. If we're wanting to send them an email and they prefer text, we can convert it. Sam has that ability to do it on the fly if you want that. What language do they speak? Wouldn't it be nice to be able to send a message to the person? If they speak Spanish, send it in Spanish. Well, Sam does that for you. The demographics, one of the things that you can do very easily is send different content based off of the demographics of this person. You don't necessarily want to be sending first time homebuyer content to somebody that's a luxury home buyer, and as you're building out your routines and doing the things with your people, you can specify the demographic that they're in order to better facilitate the communication with something that they are really interested in. The ability to set up notes, tags, they're all in there. Probably the most important thing that's in here though is the important dates. And you'll see why in a little bit, but anything that could trigger some kind of automation should be given a date. And then we trigger that whenever we fill in that date with something, then that action, that routine can kick off. And we'll go over that. But just want you to know that there are lots of dates. You can create your own custom dates. In fact, custom fields, all these tabs that are in here, some of these are customs that I created and I just put in there, but you can create custom fields and put into the system as well. One of the things that we did put into the system is connections. Connections allows you to identify who is connected to this person in some way. So in this case, we've got, these are a bunch of dead presidents, but we've got Abigail and Millard Fillmore. So if I wanted to get to him real quick, I just click on his name and takes me to his record. And if I go and look at the connections there, it comes back and you can see, well, in addition for Millard, in addition to the spouse, you can see other family members, daughters, and stuff like that you've got tied in there. It could be coworkers, it could be friends, it could be whatever, but you're tying records together so that you have information about that person and who they are, and allows you to also increase some of the talking points that we're going to talk about whenever you're doing phone dialing and stuff like that. But lots of different capabilities for lots of different things here. What party members, another thing, were they a part of? Were if they had a listing, they were the seller. If they had the transaction, they were the seller on this one. Listing doesn't really make sense. This is demo data, but maybe they were the buyer's title person on certain ones, and then you can drill down and see those. But it links all of your people together with your properties, your listings, your transactions and stuff. But this is the contact side, and it's really the important part of any CRM is making sure you've got those people in there. You can then take these people and you can set up so it synchronizes to Google and be able to get them on your phone and synchronize either one way or two way. Lots of capabilities there of doing things. Of course, you can import and export those however you want. We do allow multiple ways of getting contacts into your database. If you want to just add a contact really quick, you can click on the little plus to add a contact. Maybe you've got a business card, a physical business card, and you're using this on your phone and you just take a picture of the business card. It can scan that picture using AI. It interprets the information, does OCR on it, optical character recognition, and throws it into your database, and it can tag it and do all the things that it wants to. We can bring them in by V card. We can do importing through CSV and other sources, even email import. So maybe you've got lead magnet type stuff on other sites, or like realtor.com, different types of web pages and stuff like that, where if somebody fills out a form or something, that lead comes to you. Well, you can have it forwarded to an email address, special email address that is for your contacts, and have that contact automatically imported into the system. And depending on which lead source it came from, maybe you start a different routine or different workflow on that person based off of where they came from or what they're looking for. So lots of capabilities to automate that speed to lead, that C portion of the conversions, operations, retention, experience. It's the C part here of getting those leads. We saw how we can generate the lead magnets, but also how do you get them into the database quickly so that we can get that speed to lead process going. Cody, did
This
that all
is
make
this
sense?
Yeah, this is great. Context wise, one of the hardest things that most real estate agents are going to face when it's finally time, you've made the decision, you need to switch systems, is getting all of your information over. And so we've worked really hard to make the contacts database as easy to make that happen for you as possible. Not only from the import, Sam's going to help you get those imports in. You have lots of different ways you can get that data in. But then once it's in the actual system, the system can help you out by learning all of these key insights that you've worked so hard to gather and to plug in here. And we're going to show you guys just a little bit more a little bit later as to how all that comes together. But the ability to organize is something that folks are always looking for. The ability to easily bring those in is really important. And Mark, I'm so happy with this. Candidly, at the last demo day when we first started, this was like the big highlight piece. And this is like early into the system look at this point. And so you've done such a good job of building all of this together.
Thank you. Thank you. The next thing for real estate agents that we need to go into is the properties area. Now, properties can be automatically brought in from the contact side. So whenever you've got a contact, you can immediately bring in a record for their address or whatever. But these are the properties that either you have listed or that are going through some kind of transaction of some sort. We do also have a piece for those people that do like rehab construction type stuff. You can get a included module that goes with that. Not everybody needs that or wants that, but if you want it, let us know. What this does, though, is on any address that you go into, because it really has the same. I'm going to go back. Sorry, I should have done one more thing. Whenever you look at all your different properties and addresses and stuff, one of the things that we do have, and we have this on the contact side as well, is what we call a business pipeline. And this is where the pipeline of your listings are. So you can go through and see the status of everything. Maybe something's active and now it's pending. So you can just click and drag and put it into another area. At that point, as soon as it changes its status, then maybe some other routine automatically kicks in and starts doing its process. So the things that you would do that once an active listing goes pending, what are those things you do? You set up a routine to let it do it. And then just then it would have started automatically that routine and put things onto your calendar so that you knew what needed to be done. It's not a matter of guesswork anymore or having to think through or manually start something. It can just do it for you all automatically. So that's the business pipeline. And we can get into that later. But what we want to do is make sure that we get our properties in there so that we can see a pipeline like that. In this case, whenever you put the properties in either manually or you bring them in through your contacts, it'll create a property record of sorts here. So whenever you're in the properties section here, you have who are the owners. In this case, demo data here. Cody's the owner on this property. Nice house there, buddy.
Thanks. Yeah.
The The bigger thing that's important on this is it has its own important dates. And again, you can create additional dates that pertain to you if there's certain things that you want, but these dates are what's critical for setting up those routines. Any property can be tagged. You can set up calendars and stuff, checklists. But the thing is with properties, there's property details, numbers of bedrooms, bathrooms, size, acreage, all that kind of stuff that goes with this, which is information that doesn't really change that frequently. Yes, if they do remodels and stuff, things need to be updated, but for the most part, it stays the same. Well, if you're doing listings, you're doing a brand new listing on something, why would you want to um, re-enter all this type of information if you didn't have to? Well, you shouldn't have to. But what we do is we have a separate section for listings to be able to handle the listings and also the transactions. So you can see everything together, all under the same property address, but have potentially multiple different listings over time that pertain to this property. If you've bought and sold this property multiple times over a period of time, then they would all be listed there as historical information. So it's important to have. One of the nice things about what we've done is we've created a photo manager piece where every photo, whenever you upload it, you can upload multiples at a time and then use AI to go through, and it'll create, using AI, a description of that photo. So everything kind of becomes nice and neat and very vocal conversation types of description of that property. And whenever if you click on the images of these, then if you are using this for an open house, you could have it up on a big screen or on the TV or whatever, and actually go through and see the information scroll by, and you can adjust the speed and all that kind of stuff. But whether you do open houses now or not, some people do, some people don't, but just a way of setting this up and being able to do things with those photos is important. The other thing that you can do with the photos themselves, once all the descriptions and stuff are on there, is in the listing side, whenever you're actually dealing with the marketing information, you can have AI generate the listing description. Now, we know that ChatGPT can do this, but typically you've got to put in some kind of information to let ChatGPT know what you want to describe, right? Well, this information can be pulled in from all the details that you've got in the system and be able to create it. And we all know that the listing descriptions on MLS isn't always free form and unlimited. Typically, they have a limit to the number of characters that they use. So we have the ability here to click on the little plus, tell it how many characters you want to be able to use, and then it can create a smaller, still in the same context of the bigger description, but a smaller description that can then be copied and used inside your MLS listing for whatever purposes. But a lot of AI capability to be able to do things with this information. Likewise, we can take this information and we can send it to Gamma, all the photos, all the listing description, all the details that we want, and then let it create some kind of presentation, either a CMA or listing type presentation. Let me just do one here. I've done a few different ones here. So this is just an example. It took the photos and all the information about that, and then it created, using AI, a very nice looking handout that you could staple together, or put into a book, a flip folder, or whatever, and or send this as a PDF to potential out of state or out of city buyers, and let them see some of the information. But it takes all the details of that listing and makes a pretty version of it that you can utilize in lots of different ways. This could be a lead magnet as well. You could create any kind of capture piece where you have a single landing page that then goes in and says, if you want more information, fill out of this form, and we'll send you our free listing details information. So all the information that's available in that database. Now, again, you could do this through ChatGPT, or you could do this through whatever, but think about all the work that it takes to gather all that information. And I do it within just a click of a button. That's the simplicity of this. The other part of the listings, the transactions, and the projects that's really important as well is the party members. So who are those party members that are part of this listing? Who's the seller? Who's the electrician? Or whoever you have different people in there. Again, this is demo stuff. So Cody's in here several times for several different things for testing purposes. But what
Man of many hats.
You are a man of many hats. That's true. But what you can do then is going back whenever you create your routines, and we're going to cover that, I promise. You can create routines that say, hey, I need to send an email to the seller. Well, it looks in the party members for those sellers and then locates the person that plays that role in this particular instance. And then you can then email to those people or text message or whatever to very easily keep your communication up, your updating of marketing and all that kind of stuff to the right people and sending out information. You just have to know who they are. Well, this links them together very easily. So it creates that whole listing coordinator package that a lot of your listing coordinators want to be able to tie things together and be able to do things automatically, reducing the time that it takes. Having systems like this means that you can, as a listing coordinator or a transaction coordinator, you could be doing hundreds of these very quickly without all the manual labor that normally takes to do it. If you set up a system to do this, it makes it very simple. Transactions are the same way. It's just in that case, you've got other party members. Who's the buyer? Who's the lender? All that kind of stuff. So you've got all your transactional pieces. We do have a piece that's currently in beta. Didn't really want to go over it, but there is for keeping track of all your commissions. Pretty much everything for these three are basically the same. Within the listing side, though, I didn't cover this. You can set up an estimated proceeds piece for everybody on here. You can also do your listing offers. So let's say, for instance, it's probably not as frequently now as it was a year and a half ago, where you have lots of different offers, but you can put in all your different offers that are for this particular property, put in some details on them. Each of the details, you can put in all kinds of stuff about them and whatnot. And you can let AI evaluate it, and it will come up with the pros, the cons, and it'll also score this offer so that you can then present this information to your seller and say, you choose, but here are some different options. Here's what I like, what I dislike. Now you can go in there and add your own pros, your own cons, but you can let AI kind of facilitate assembling those together. You could then come in here and say, show me a comparison, and then it takes those pieces and then shows them as a comparison what some differences are. Print that off, give it to your seller, and say, choose which one you want to go with. Or once you choose one of them, click accept, and then that creates the transaction. So everything that you would want to do for keeping track of your offers is there as well. Anything I missed there, Cody?
The only other thing that I would love to, I'll just briefly touch on it. Historically, when we've been talking to folks, you see a lot of systems will segment out their properties, their listings, and their transactions tabs, which is fine. But what you end up doing is you end up toggling between lots and lots of different menus just to be able to see this. So when we sat down and we built out the actual properties database, the property itself isn't necessarily going to change. Maybe you do a reno and the bedroom number or the bathrooms changes just a little bit, But ultimately speaking, the only thing that's really going to shift over a property once it's in your database is, was it listed and did it have a transaction? And so the really cool thing that I find here is that you can not only have multiple listings, multiple transactions under a single property, but you can keep that historic record. That way, as you're moving through, as you get that repeat referral business, you can keep it all in one place. It's not going to muddy up your databases. And to me, that's one of the really powerful things. But other than that, Mark, you nailed it. This is one of the most powerful places for helping manage your guys' business as real estate agents. And by far, one of my favorite sections that we get to showcase.
One of the things that we do is we do have SAM set up for multiple different sizes of teams. You may be a solo agent, you may be a team, a small team, a large team. We have different teams, but our most popular is the 3-user system. If you're an individual agent, you can get SAM for $89 a month. If you're a team, it's $249. But we've got a lot of additional types of bonuses that we want to include with this. Number one is our brain in a box. So for the past several months, we have what we call our co-pilot. We also have a co-pilot light where people can, if they're at a point in their business where they want some help, some additional help beyond doing it themselves, where they pay us to do that work with them or get some extra time with us and go through that process over a 2-week period. We do a co-pilot light, and that's great and all, but there's only so much time in the week for me to be able to help the users be able to do things. So what we've done is we've put together what we call the SAM Foundations Program Guide. If you were to look into our brain and analyze what we were going to be going over those 2 weeks, that's what's contained in the foundation guide. This is something where we spend a lot of time going through different things, but we've nailed it down to, here are the things that you need to do. Here's the process that you need to do. And normally, that would be an $800 value because it comes with us. We're actually including that piece with this. So it's definitely of value there. The other thing that we're doing is whenever you get your normal account, users get a single landing page, a single assessment option. We will 10x that by including additional landing page abilities to create additional landing pages. A lot of people charge $30 to $50 a month to have landing pages, and we're doing that in this, including it for you. Very, very powerful in being able to create those assessments, being able to create those landing pages of different types to do things, and also the emailing. Whenever you do lead capture, the leads that come in, we also include those as well. One of the things that we do every week is we have what we call our office hours, but this really is a way to have access to us, the founders of the software, and be able to have us answer your questions. This is your time to be able to spend just really asking the important question. Now, if it is something to do with, I'm having this challenge, whatever, where we would need to look at your data, we'd probably set up a separate little 30-minute time just to go through that, so we don't share your data. But lots of people come to this, and it's just an open time where we get to spend time with you and answer all kinds of questions and stuff. So that's a very valuable piece as well. What can you remove? Well, a lot of old technology, your old CRMs, manually triggering things. A lot of CRMs out there, just they don't do automation, and they don't do it with AI. And hiring lots of experts to be able to do things. You don't necessarily need all the experts that are out there anymore. And as we continue to grow, that's going to be even more so, because we're getting rid of more and more things that you need from external places. We're actually including them into the software itself. So being able to remove a lot of stuff. So for what we're doing today is you can get, for the next 24 hours, you can get all the bonuses and stuff that goes with this. You choose whether you want the $89 a month or the $249 a month if you've got multiple users. On those, if you've got some, definitely talk to us. If you've got people that are kind of support people and they're not agents, but or actually, even if they are agents, we can work kind of through some of the user account pieces with you. But definitely, it's something that you're going to want as many people on this that's on your team as possible, so you can do the communication, do all the automations and stuff between each other. So that's very, very powerful. Now, if you are ready to order, you can go out to workflowsecrets.info/Sam order and be able to get the system right now. For the next 24 hours, you can get all those bonuses that goes along with it. Otherwise, after 24 hours, those stop. You still get a powerful system, but it's definitely worth the extra for doing it early if you want. One other thing that we've done is we've helped hundreds of agents be successful with SAM. And there's a lot of people that do that with the do-it-yourself path. If you're that kind of person, it's like, I really like to do it that way, but I really need help. We do have the ability to do our Copilot program. Copilot is a 8-week program where we sit down with you 2 days a week, basically go through your systems. It's very customized. It's a one-on-one type strategy piece where we help you build out with your team the entire suite of what SAM does, helping you set up your contacts, make sure you get them imported and classified and set them up. We help you set up the different links to systems, external integrations and stuff. We also help you set up those routines, and we help you think through those the development of the different routines. This can be time consuming for most people. We actually go through and we can shrink it down into a very short time and make it very, very quick for you. It's just a matter of understanding your business. What do you want to do inside your business? And if you don't know that, then we help you figure that out. That's something that some people need to address. Personalized setup, all the different setup pieces, support, and feedback weekly. One of the things that is really nice for those people that are doing Copilot is that if they have extra integrations, things that we don't currently have, you actually get some of that. Depending on the integration, we can actually help build those integrations and stuff out on our end for you, and go through that process. So the other thing that we do is during that 2-week process, we actually include the subscription for you. So during that time, we actually don't charge you for SAM. And if you're doing a 3-user system, that could be $500 of savings there. So total value on that. If you was just to spend time with us, typically it would cost you around 12 grand to do all that. We've got it down to 3,600. You can do this. One of the limitations is there's only so much time that we have available for this. We've got people already going through Copilot, and we've only got 2 slots available. So if you're interested, certainly reach out, and we will work towards getting you into that. If you're interested in that, you can go to workflowsecrets.info/copilot enrollment. So definitely take a look at that if you're interested.